you for joining us. And first, congratulations to Coach Kleiman and the football team, and just a fantastic game that I did not watch as we had our own game, but certainly fun to see all the excitement on social media after the fact. So congratulations to that program. You know, the non-conference ended, and I thought we were in a very good position, being 500 for the first time in a number of years. Very pleased with a number of our players and how they were playing and the confidence that we're playing with. And then you open a Summit League schedule, and I think we had one of the tougher beginning 4 games between our opponents and then going on the road the second weekend. But I'm very encouraged with many things that I have seen. I think we're shooting the ball extremely well. I think that there are young players who are not acting like freshmen, but who are playing with confidence because of our non-conference schedule. I think the leadership is very solid as well. So I'm encouraged going into this weekend. Obviously, it is on the road. We've won on the road already this year, so that's not a new thing for us. But who our opponents are certainly will present challenges. But I'm excited to continue, the progress and continue the day-by-day growth that we've seen from USD to 2 practices to the first half of NDSU and continuing to build. So I'm excited to kick it off.
I'm not sure what your schedule has been since your game on Saturday, but what was the immediate response from the girls? How are they kind of just responding to this early Summit League stretch?
I think there's a balance that they're exhibiting between disappointment that we're not been successful in the win-loss column, but encouragement and nodding heads and seeing we're right there. It's a play, it's a rebound, it's one read, as opposed to we can't hit the broadside of the barn or we're getting out-muscled all the time, things like that. So I think that they understand it's a challenge and they know it's a challenge, but they're completely bought into continuing to get better and improve because they see different areas such as shooting percentage, such as assist to turnover ratio or assist to field goal ratio. So they're seeing the positives. Like everybody else, they want to see a win at the end of the day.
How valuable are those upperclassmen, that leadership right now, just especially because they can appreciate where you were this time last year or the year before that?
When you say upperclassmen and leadership, sometimes it's upperclassmen leadership and sometimes it's sophomore leadership, only because of the makeup of our team. But I think the sophomores are holding their own and are very good demonstrators of mental toughness, of physical toughness, of staying positive in game scenarios, as well as Taylor being our senior. And I kind of put Marina probably in both sides because she's new to us, but she's played a lot of college basketball at the same time. So their determination and their leadership is very, very important for our group, but it doesn't just come from the older players.
The sophomores, after going through 1 year of the conference grind, are you seeing, or what are you seeing that they're kind of taking that next step and feeling, we've done this once, This is starting to become more old hat?
Just the way that they carry themselves is the first thing I think anybody notices, that they know what to expect. They've been physically in that gym before, so there wasn't anything that happened at Frost Arena that our sophomores hadn't seen before or were concerned about, and I think that the way that they carry themselves certainly gives our staff confidence, but that rubs off on Marina, who's never been there, but also the freshmen. So I'm very pleased with how they're carrying themselves. The conversations that they're having, it's encouraging. It's, they've left all the coaching up to the coaches, but they are an active part of the halftime conversation. They're an active part of post-game conversations, as opposed to just taking it in and being wide-eyed and uncertain. There's definitely a level of confidence that they're bringing.
Coming off a road game against SDSU and heading into 4 of 5 road contests, what do you think you're going to learn about this team over that stretch?
I'm not sure that I'm going to learn anything new, as we've had a handful of road games. We've had 2-game road swings, twice already this year. So I'm not sure that there'll be anything new, but I will be looking for the consistency, the leadership to continue to grow in tough situations, whether that's a timeout in the first quarter, a timeout in the third quarter. But where's the endurance of being able to be on the road? I think that will be a big indicator of how we play. And then ultimately the result at the end of the game.
Been a while since NDSU women's basketball has been able to top Oral Roberts. You guys gave them a run last year, though. How similar are they to the squad you saw last year, and how much do these girls build confidence off of those runs last year?
I think in some respects they're a very similar team, and in some respects they have different people involved. So the style might be similar and some different roles filled by different players. I will assure you that we have not talked about Oral Roberts. We have not had practice yet today. So I think I know the girls are going into 2 road games, winnable road games. We've got to play at our expectation, our standard. We've done that. We did that at Frost. I think that's where they're coming from coaches who have scouted and watched film. I think that their pace of play is something that we can control a little bit more than maybe other games that we've been in. Certainly the confidence that we've gone down there and we've battled and we've been competitive numerous times for me, gives me confidence in coaching them and in, getting more out of them. They have an interior player in Martinez that will present challenges for us, just her height and her nice touch. But I don't think that that's anything that we haven't seen in a matchup that we can't take advantage of.
ORU is really effective in the post. Martinez, as you said, Faith eye him as well. I know you don't want to put a ton of pressure on your freshmen in Quillbang and Dietz, but how do you kind of balance that, knowing when to dial back and knowing when to push them, because you need them down the stretch here?
Absolutely. I think the good thing for our team is that we have a group of 4, and if you include Riley Nudell, a group of 5 who can play that 4-5 slot depending on matchups, depending on what we want to run, defensively, offensively, those sorts of things. So and in some respects, it's nice. They actually have a couple back-to-the-basket post players. We don't see that a whole lot in our non-conference, and that's an environment that Emily Dietz thrives in. That's an environment that Danny Vagley thrives in, and that's where they're solidifying their confidence. And then you put somebody like Faith Ehem, who's a very different player. And is she different than Riley Jacobson? Perhaps. Is she different than Riley Nudell? Yes. But can she bang and can she be physical with our Rileys? So I think to kind of take what Dave said, there's a style and a mismatch and who's going to be the most productive in those scenarios that I'm looking forward to because of how our sophomore group is playing and because of how Emily Dietz has really shown and blossomed as of late. And I mean, when you have 6'4" in the post, whether you're a freshman or a senior, there's some paint control that becomes an issue inside as well.
Nudell's name there a couple of times, a local kid who's starting to make a name for herself on this program, and it's starting to show up on the stat sheet a little bit. Where's that difference been for her? Is it just confidence? I mean, she looks good.
Mm-hmm. I think she's becoming okay with being more in the spotlight and taking more shots and being more an integral part of it. She'll be the first to say, Sarah can go to media, I don't need to. She'll be the first person to say that. And that's really who she is. And we love that about her. At the same time, she's becoming more confident in being in the limelight, in being the person that we call the play for, or that needs to get us this rebound, or that needs to get us this bucket. And when you talk to her, she wants it, but she doesn't want to make anybody else uncomfortable. And that's a maturity, and unfortunately there's no drill for speeding up maturity. But I like where she's at. She's very confident in what she's doing, which makes us a better basketball team. And honestly, the challenge for us as coaches is to continue to get her rest, but continue to keep her on the floor, because we are a better basketball team when Riley Nudell is playing.
Led her high school basketball team for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, or whatever it was that she was playing varsity basketball. So is it just the difference of this is such a bigger stage than Class B North Dakota girls basketball that you think is creating that, trepidation maybe with the spotlight? Because she's had it on her for a long time. I've been doing stories on her way too long.
You've watched her more than I have.
Yeah.
Yes. She's a really great kid, and she wants to make sure that it's what's best for the team. And she's always thinking team first. But she had a better shot than I did. But she made the last shot. But that was a layup. That's her mentality. And it's helping her grow that mentality to, you are the best option, even though you are not a senior, even though you are not in your mind a captain, or without the titles. It's getting her to continue to push forward and be okay even when the spotlight is on you, because how many spotlights were on you at Maple Valley High School? You know, there were, but there were days that you were still the best player and there wasn't a spotlight. Where at the college level, there's a spotlight every single game. And I mean, she's a great kid that is always thinking team first. And you don't want to ever tell a kid to be selfish, but we're helping her see through film and through practice, this is an opportunity that you are the best option. Nope, stop. She had a, nope, you are the best option. And her being, okay, I can do that. You know, and that's a maturation process.